Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. I have read, if you will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right. God hears them all. There is no prayer too small. My God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. No prayer too small. God hears them all.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you. Let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of that coffin. You think, maybe if I tried lifting the lid, I might be able to get out. But the enormous weight of the dirt upon the lid won't allow that. You think maybe if I bang on the lid, maybe I'll unsettle the dirt and somehow somebody might start digging their way down towards me. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to get help. In reality, there are people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to defeat an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, did it ever cross your mind that maybe, just maybe, you might have to, look into maybe not doing drugs and alcohol to save your life? You might have to consider giving up drugs and alcohol. Because when you overdose, you not only take life away from yourself, but you take your life away from the people that count and need you most. People like your children, your mother, your father, brother, sister, grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the guy or the person I'm reading about on these index cards that waited and waited and waited until it was too late. Instead, be the person that picks up the phone at 844-405-HELP and let me help you take your life back. For your life is gone. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here today, looking for a better today and a better tomorrow. Give Larry a call at 516-458-2741 or go to www.odysseyconsultant.org. Folks, take your slippers off at night, but don't stick them by the edge of your bed. Stick them way under your bed. That way, in the morning when you wake up, you'll have to retrieve them on your knees. While you're on your knees, thank God for allowing you to see that water behind me, that stream in a waterfall. Thank God for having a home, clothing, and food. Ask God for guidance and direction. Ask God for mercy and forgiveness. Utilize an email each and every day. It's your personal communication between you and God. While you're on your knees, thank God each and every day, and repetitiously do the same thing. At night, take the slippers off, put them under your bed. In the morning, get on your knees, retrieve those slippers, and thank God for another beautiful day that He is allowing you to be alive. Top 10 Bible foods with healing power. Olives and olive oil. Then it shall come about when the Lord your God brings you into the land which He swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you great and splendid cities which you did not build, and houses full of good things which you did not fill, and citizens which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you eat and are satisfied. Deuteronomy 6:10-11. The Jews were the elite olive merchants of the day. During antiquity, these precious commodity was used for its healing capabilities, for cooking, to light lamps, for soaps, for cosmetics, and even for currency. Olive oil was considered so sacred to ancient culture that it was used to anoint kings and priests. Hence, the Hebrew for Messiah, Mosiah, meaning anointed one. Research has been conducted that proves regular consumption of olives and olive oil contributes to heart, brain, skin, and joint health. They have even been linked to cancer and diabetes prevention. Needless to say, the sacred foodstuff has lived up to its ancient reputation. Number 2, pomegranate. For the Lord your God is bringing you into good land, a land of brooks of water, fountains and springs, flowing forth in valleys and hills, a land wheat and barley, of vines, fig trees, and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey. Deuteronomy 8:7-8. Tasty, messy, and just recently gaining ground in the American market these past few years, several research studies have shown that pomegranates contain strong anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-obesity, and anti-tumor properties. According to researchers, many beneficial effects are related to the presence of ellagic acid, flavonoids, antioxidants, and flavonoids, which seem to be its most therapeutically beneficial components. Subsequently, pomegranates are being considered valid treatment options for chronic disease such as cancer, insulin, and intestinal inflammation and obesity. Number 3, fermented grapes. May he kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for love is better than wine. Song of Solomon 1:2. The National Institute of Health, otherwise known as the NIH, has touted for years that regular drinking a 4-ounce glass of red wine will lower your risk of developing heart disease. Nonetheless, because of the inherent dangers in consuming too much alcohol, the Mayo Clinic cautions drinking much more than this amount. When grape juice is fermented, natural antioxidant and flavonoid properties are exemplified through a substance called resveratrol. Consequently, researchers have focused much of their attention on the health benefits of certain chemicals in these, which has been linked to chronic disease reversal, including diabetes and obesity. Number 4 is flax. An excellent wife who can find, for her worth is above jewels. She looks for wool and flax, and works with her hands in delight. Proverbs 31:10 through 13. One of the most important plant fiber in the Bible, flax has been used to make linen for as long as recorded history. Although it has been widely replaced by cotton in recent years, flax remains as one of the most important fiber plants in the world. Having a rich history of medicinal use dating back to Babylon in 3000 BC, flaxseed has been wholeheartedly embraced by natural health and medical circles alike because it provides a natural, vegan source of omega, essentially fatty acid, ligands, and fiber. Subsequently, flax can help fight against cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Number 5 is sprouted grain bread. Take wheat and barley, beans and lentils, millet and spelt, put them in a storage jar and use them to make your bread for yourself. Ezekiel 4:9. In the book of Ezekiel, God gave the prophet Ezekiel a recipe for what has proven to be a perfect bread, as science has recently shown us that it creates the complete protein, one that contains all essential amino acids. The main reason that Ezekiel bread is healthier than other breads is because the grains and legumes are soaked and sprouted, which makes them easier to digest. Harvesting sprouted grains happens right after the seed has started to sprout, but before it has developed into a full-grown plant. During this critical growth state, the young shoot digests a portion of the starch to fuel its growth. Subsequently, because the grain starch has been utilized, the level of vital nutrients, including proteins, vitamins, and minerals, enhanced. Additionally, research has studies showing that iron and zinc actually become more bioavailable after sprouting. Number 6 is raw milk. The lambs will be for your clothing, and the goats will bring the price of the field. There will be goat's milk enough for your food, and for the food of your household, and substance for your maidens. Proverbs 27:26 through 27. Raw milk is filled with vitamins and minerals that contribute to healthy dental fluid flow and help with strong teeth. Loaded with calcium, vitamin K, magnesium, phosphorus, and fat-soluble vitamins, researchers have carried out a comparative study on the properties of cows' milk compared to those goats' and milk, who have discovered that goat's milk will even be more beneficial. Unlike cows, milk scientists from the University of Grenada have revealed that data concerning goat's milk suggests that it could prevent diseases such as anemia and bone demyelination. Additionally, goat's milk has properties that help with digestive and metabolic utilization of minerals such as iron, calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium. Number 7 is lamb. Now you shall eat it, the unblemished lamb, in the manner with your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. Exodus 12:11. Due to the significance of Passover, lamb, and equating the role to Christ, lambs are the most revered animal in history and the most honored food in the Bible. Lamb is the meat of young sheep that are generally 1 year old or younger. Due to slaughtering the animal at such a young age, the marble fat content is considerably lower than the older varieties of meat, which contributes to heart health and helps prevent obesity. Rich in protein, vitamin B12, and minerals, is arguably the healthiest red meat on the planet. On a side note, make sure that to purchase local organic grass-fed varieties when possible. Grain-fed animals are loaded with genetically modified corn feed, countless additives, and are simply not worth the risk. Number 8 is bitter herbs. They shall eat the flesh that same night, roasted with fire, and they shall eat their unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Exodus 12:8. Scholars have not completed the agreement which plants and authors of the Bible were referring to when writing about bitter herbs, but coriander and parsley generally make the list. Coriander is the seed of a powerful antioxidant and natural cleansing agent, cilantro. Europeans refer to as the anti-diabetic because of its uncanny ability to regulate blood sugar, and Indian folk medicine praised for its being effective anti-inflammatory. Also used for chronic disease reversal, parsley has been shown to normalize blood pressure, help prevent cancer, and offer joint pain relief due to its inflammatory properties. And a rich source of several crucial vitamins including vitamin A, B12, and C, and K. Number 9 is vegetables. Please test your servants for 10 days and let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink. Daniel 1:12. Instead of eating the tasty dainties of Babylonians, Daniel and his friends requested to live on vegetarian diet. When it was time for them to be presented to the king, Nebuchadnezzar and all of the leaders were astounded to see that the 4 young Jewish friends were fit and looked better than the other younger men who ate the Babylonian fare, often referred to as Daniel diet. History and biblical texts actually support that Daniel continued his vegetarian lifestyle throughout his entire life. All of the food groups, vegetables are arguably the most nutrition-dense and safest to eat. There's relatively no risk in consuming too many of them, whereas if you eat fruit all day, you run the risk of spiking your blood sugar and developing dental caries because of the excessive sugar. Vegetables are so effective at healing that, according to the National Cancer Institute, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, collards, kale, and radish can help prevent cancer because they are rich in glucosinolates, a large group of sulfur-containing glucides. Known to break down during chewing and digestion, these powerhouse chemicals can slow down and even reverse cancer cells' growth. Additionally, it has also been reported that glucosinolates can treat the following health concerns: inflammation, bacterial and viral infections, tumor and blood vessel formation, tumor migration, and number 10, raw honey. Have you ever found honey? Eat only what you need, and you will have an excess and vomit it. Proverbs 25:16. It's no wonder raw honey is referred to as the liquid gold. The medicinal applications to the skin and internal body seems limitless. First of all, raw honey is loaded with key vitamins B1 through 6 and C, and it contains several minerals, calcium, magnesium, manganese, and potassium and zinc. In addition to bring fantastic replacement to energy drinks for athletes and people needing a little boost, raw honey also contains full of spectrum or antioxidants, supports the growth of probiotics in gastrointestinal tract, including bifidobacteria. Another fascinating quality of honey is the ability to help prevent seasonal allergies. However, be sure to purchase the local variety, as it will contain indigestible pollen species, unlike generic store-bought brands. Who would have thought that you could get nutritional advice in the Bible, huh? At the end of the day, if it were good enough for the people back then to eat, it's probably good enough for the people today to eat, and there's no better place to find what happened and was successful back when God was around, back when the Bible was written, New Testament, Old Testament alike. May you have the best day of your life, and don't forget about an email. Get down on your knees, pray to God, use your time so preciously to communicate with God, to thank Him for each and everything that you have in your life, and may God bless you.
but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there. Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always